You Can't Make This Shit Up. Number 16. Robots, Infanticide, and Smelly Poo.
Hey everybody, Paul Elam here with a voice for men and an ear for men. And this is Tom Golden from menaregood.com and the Men Are Good channel on YouTube. And welcome to, what episode are we in? You can't make this shit up. We can make the number up.
Sweet
make
16, Paul.
Sweet 16. Okay,
Sweet
maybe
16.
we make that up. I don't know.
We may have. We'll have to check it later.
But we'll call it number 16. But man, here we go again. All we have to do every time we do one of these is come up with 4 stories that are so bizarre, so weird, so troubling, so funny, so whatever, that you have to say you can't make this shit up. And it takes us about 15 minutes each time we try to come up with 4 stories, because that's the world we live in today. And we start with a couple of tragic ones. This is unfortunately we're not going to start out with the funny variety. We have a little cheerleader in Carlisle, Ohio. Her name is Brooke Schuyler. How good is that? Brooke Schuyler Richardson, cheerleader who has a baby. She gets pregnant. She has a baby. She kills the baby, burns the baby's body, and buries it in the backyard because nobody would like the appearances of her being pregnant. She is, after all, a cheerleader with a future, and that baby was in the way. And as we were discussing prior to this airing, it's not that much different from the obviously retroactive position on abortion that the left has these days. I know the governor right here in my state has already talked about, well, you just make them comfortable and let them die. If the abortion doesn't kill them. Pretty strange talk for a doctor, but that is where the left has gotten to these days, retroactive abortion. And so we see it in this story. And of course, I would be wrong about things getting that bad had this girl been punished. She was charged with murder, with aggravated murder. She was charged with child neglect. She was charged with gross abuse of a corpse, and several other things. They were really throwing the book at her until it got time to the verdicts and the sentencing. They couldn't find her guilty on the murder because the body conveniently was burned and decomposed. So it became nearly impossible for them to determine an actual cause of death, even though they know this girl murdered the baby. So they found her not guilty on that, but they found her guilty on the other charges and sentenced her to 7 days in jail, and then gave her credit for the few nights she had already spent in jail. And she was out on $50,000 bond, no problem. She got her bail back, walked away scot fucking free.
Wow. After
murdering her own child, burning the body, buried in the backyard, and of course the consciousness of guilt is evident there. When you're burying bodies, you've done wrong. This is how when people talk about white privilege, I think about this, and she's a cute blonde white girl, and I do think that there is some truth to that when I see this kind of stuff going on. But we all know that the privilege is more about gender.
Yep.
And it's funny that people talk about male privilege. What would happen to a little old Paul Elam if I murdered a baby and buried it in my backyard? You think I'd
Paul.
get 7 days, Tom?
Bye-bye, Paul. See you in 30.
Forever.
30 years, bitch.
I would never see the outside of a penitentiary. I would go in there and probably get killed by the other inmates.
Yes, for killing a baby.
Yeah, for killing a baby.
But Paul, she was a cheerleader.
Well, that's true. She did. She wanted, and it's like her attorney said before the trial, she's really very good at heart, and she wants to go to school this fall. So, it's sort of like, you're not going to make her miss summer camp, are you?
No.
Over a murder.
She wants to be an OBGYN.
So, Brooke Schuyler, you're number one turd on our shit list.
Yeah, today's show is going to be about shit.
It is going to be about shit. As
She is
you'll
the
see.
first shit on the agenda.
And I'm telling you, this is just absolutely stunning. You want to add anything else to this piece of tripe before we leave?
No, except it's gynocentrism on parade.
Oh,
Women
yes.
get 62% less time in prison than men. 62%.
And apparently a lot more than that. I don't know where they come up with just 62% when you get 7 days for what she did.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I'm telling you, a man would have been thrown under the jail forever.
Everybody gets upset about this racial piece, but the racial piece is just 12 to 13%, whereas the sexism piece is 62%.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yes, and I agree. The racial disparity is an injustice.
Yes.
But it shocks me that we still live in a society that has such outrage about a 12 or 13% disparity,
Right.
and is dead silent on the 60+% disparity that's right under everybody's noses.
You can't make this shit up.
So, ladies, here's your lesson out here for you. If you don't like your baby, abortion is now retroactive. You may get slapped with a little fine. You may have to bail yourself out, but you ain't even going to miss your next party. So, just
A
have
woman's
at it.
choice.
Speaking of women's choices, Tom,
Uh-oh.
turd number 2 on our shit list
Turd
today.
number 2.
Her name is Kimberly Nelligan, 33-year-old woman from Maine who killed her baby inadvertently. I don't know what she was thinking, but she wanted her baby to sleep better. I guess its crying was bothering her. So she repeatedly painted its gums with heroin. That's not, I don't think that was in my mom's playbook on how you get a baby to sleep. I think she
Probably not.
picked the baby up and patted it and walked around with it and laid it back down and gave it warm milk and stuff like that. But this woman painted her baby's gums at least 15 times with heroin and to get it to sleep. And lo and behold, the baby up and died. And here again, we're going to get into another area of privilege, unfortunately. And I hope we're putting this loser's picture, both of these losers' pictures.
Oh, they're up.
Oh, yeah, good enough. But here's the deal. And we've got more than one culprit in this. The reason that the cops knew that this woman painted the baby's gums with heroin was because the husband witnessed it. He said he saw it at least 15 times.
Ooh.
I'm thinking 2 people should be in jail, Tom.
Yeah, really.
How can you not know this? And what's really weird is that the prosecutor in this case, and what was this idiot's name? Marianne Lynch. Listen to this. The district attorney, Marianne Lynch, said that more charges against Nelligan could arise as the investigation continues. These are very, very serious, difficult cases. And in some instances, the law isn't really designed to address issues like this. This prosecutor is saying that the law isn't designed to address the issue of a mother giving her infant heroin and killing it with it. Why is my bullshit alarm going off on this?
Let's see, Paul. Kill your baby, but the laws don't really have much to do with that.
I think she's looking at this as some sort of retroactive abortion, maybe.
Seems like, again, the same
like
kind of thing.
Case.
Yeah.
but
That's the prosecutor said that?
This is the prosecutor in the case.
Oh, boy.
And get this, after killing her baby with heroin, Nelligan faces up to 1 year in prison and a fine for $2,000 for child endangerment, and up to 180 days in jail and a $1,000 fine on the drug charge. Not a mention of a dead baby.
Wow.
In these possible consequences. So I'm thinking, shit, man, go ahead and give her the 7 days time served, let her out, give her a cash bonus for being a wonderful mom. After all, Jesus. I mean,
It's crazy.
when we say you can't make this shit up,
We're not kidding. That's
you
crazy.
absolutely cannot make this shit up. This is women just murder their babies with impunity.
Yeah.
Absolute impunity.
She was so entranced in her own drug world that she didn't even know what she was doing.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it wasn't her fault for some fucking reason.
I'm not saying it wasn't her fault.
Well, I know you that were saying that, but I'm saying society will take you seriously.
Oh God. Yeah.
It was a man who introduced her to heroin.
Yeah, that's right. It must be a guy's fault.
It must be his fault. Jesus Christ! I mean, you've got the picture up. You one look at this woman, and she's got what the hell is she doing? Even allowed to have babies?
Yeah, that's a good point. At some point, you got to say, no, you shouldn't be reproducing. That's crazy. If you kill children, you can't.
There should be some sort of law. I mean,
Yeah.
I know that, like, if you molest children, they won't let you near them again.
Right, exactly.
But I guess killing them is not as bad as molesting.
Especially if you're the mother.
Yeah, when you're the mother, I mean, I'm sure she had her reasons. The baby was probably making too much noise.
Too much noise. Way too much.
Absolutely. So she offed the baby accidentally, trying to get it to be quiet. I mean, shit, mother's the hardest job in the world, Tom.
And I really think we've become numb to some of this because of all the abortions.
I know that as I was sorting through this and getting ready to record this discussion, I was thinking, how many times have we covered stories like this?
Yeah.
And how sick I am of doing it, and how now it's just like, okay, here's another dead baby and a woman that's not punished. No big deal. It's routine now.
Yeah.
I don't get it. But I guess we're gonna still keep covering. But I think in the future, I'm gonna limit each one we do to one at a time.
That's probably best.
Maybe try and find something a little more uplifting. Because this is just not cutting it.
Paul, you can't make bad shit up just like you can't make good shit up. I mean, it's
true.
It's all right, man. It's part of you can't make it up.
So why don't we talk about a couple of more things you can't make up, Tom? And
how about a poop number 3?
Poop
number 3
of our shit list.
Oh, this is a shit list, that's for sure. The New York Times, Paul, the new frickin' York Times wrote an article about women's poop.
About how it doesn't stink?
Well, I think that may have been a part of the article in one way or another. But they said, women poop sometimes at work. Get over it. Why must the bathroom continue to be fraught? Ooh. And they go through this article about women who will go way out of their way to poop someplace else so that no one will smell their poop. This completely dispels the idea, Paul, not poop. This dispels the idea that women's shit don't stink.
It does somewhat.
Because they wouldn't have to go someplace else if it didn't stink.
So they're saying is this another women's issue?
This is
so self-conscious about the smell of their shit that
we're going to get there. This is a women's issue. And here, let me tell you one of the stories. One of the stories is that woman had a friend at another office job who carried a book of matches and a can of air freshener in her purse, more willing to set off the office fire alarm, than to leave any hint of odor in a public lavatory. Or maybe there once was a woman who walked regularly from her office in Midtown Manhattan to a hotel across the street in order to use the bathroom, and that woman may have been one of us. And what they're saying in this article is, this is not just these couple of women. This is a lot of women. In fact, the implication is this is most women are very worried about whether people smell their poop. You can't make this shit up, Paul. You cannot make it up. And what seems to me is, what the article's saying is women are neurotic.
That's loud and clear.
That's pretty neurotic if you ask me.
That is pretty neurotic.
But how do they spin it, Paul? How do they spin it?
Women's issue, victim.
it's men's fault. Let's see, what do they say here? Poop shame is real, and it's disproportionately affects women who suffer from higher rates of irritable bowel syndrome and inflammatory bowel disease. In other words, the patriarchy has seeped into women's intestinal tracts. Now,
I'm funny. I'm sorry, but I've just got to imagine the T-shirt. Poop shame is real.
Yeah. No. Women's poop shame is real. Men's
Probably because men aren't neurotic about pooping. They go to the nearest bathroom, pinch a loaf, and get back to work. Like anybody else with fucking two brain cells to rub together.
You would think so.
Tom,
this is the New York Times.
And this is what happens in idle minds. This is what happens when people don't have enough real problems.
Correct.
In life, that they can actually imagine that being self-conscious about the smell of shit. I mean, and that comes from a mentality of believing that the general population really doesn't think your shit stinks. Because the reason they're getting away from it is because the fact that their shit stinks would be a surprise to everybody. They go, oh, I can't believe I went in there behind Doris and the place, I haven't. Because, of course, Doris's shit doesn't stink.
Of course not. Not Doris.
Damn it. Feminism. Feminism.
You want to hear one more story?
A retarded movie. Yeah.
Listen to this. That friend had another friend at another office job who repeatedly forced her body to do the deed quickly, racing from cubicle to bathroom and back in an effort to deflect attention from what she might be doing in there, that it led to a semi-serious hemorrhoid problem.
Wasn't the only problem.
She's gonna poop so fast that people think she just went in there to pee, Paul.
Well,
oh God, I can hear the men out there laughing their ass off with this one.
Well, and if we're going to blame men for the problem, of course they do, I think men should come up with the solution. Guys, here's what you do.
Yeah.
Wherever you go into work, I want you to go into the break room. It's full of people. And when Doris is sitting over there enjoying her Diet Coke and 8,000 calorie sandwich, you tell her, look, Doris, I too have shit that stinks. And I want you to know that we're the same. And I support the fact that your poop smells. Make her feel better about her stinky poop.
Why not?
Matter of fact, we should have focus groups and probably some legislation behind this, Tom.
Poop support groups.
Yes, poop support groups, Poopers Anonymous, something. This is so fucking stupid. This is
some crazy shit. But Paul, that is not as crazy as the last story.
Okay, good. Because
the last one may be one of the craziest fucking stories we've ever done. All right.
Man, I don't know. After that one, you're going to say that?
Trust me. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Sex robots should have human rights to prevent them from being sexually abused, expert claims.
Expert.
Yeah, a lawyer.
Oh, a lawyer.
Sex robots should have human rights. In an article for The Conversation, Victoria Brooks, a lecturer in law at the University of Westminster, suggests that we need to change the way we see robots.
Oh, yes. Just like we need to change masculinity, we need to change everything. Here comes a
God. She says,
problem that doesn't exist.
Sex robots should have rights to prevent them from being sexually abused, an expert has claimed. What? Her argument is based on the fact that at a tech fair in Austria last year, a sex robot called Samantha, and we'll show Samantha right now, was repeatedly molested and left filthy with 2 broken fingers.
Okay.
That's the reason she thinks that sex robots should have rights, because they mistreated Samantha.
They mistreated Samantha. Is Samantha yet? Okay.
Oh, God. This is a machine. This is a doll. It's like, are you going to make a felony out of a 2-year-old taking their doll and bashing the head against the damn chair? I mean, it's like crazy. That doesn't make any sense. Dolls are dolls. They're not human.
Oh, but I'm sure this woman, this idiot lawyer, whoever she is, what's her name?
Oh, the name is Victoria Brooks.
Okay. Victoria's not so secret stupidity. You know what this is about, right?
Control and power.
Of men. Men are starting to build alternatives to women.
Yes, exactly.
This is what this is about. Because you notice she didn't say a word about dolls, because if she said dolls, that would imply the dolls that little girls play with.
That's a good point.
Frequently get limbs missing and stuff happens to them. And that's, of course, we can't have that being abuse because that's little girls.
Yes.
But quite understandably are building alternatives to women. And they don't want that. There's all sorts of movements, especially in England right now, going on to try to make sex robots illegal.
Yes.
And one of the ways that they'll try to play with the narrative and form public opinion is by anthropomorphizing these inanimate fucking objects, which is what they are. They're not human. There's nothing human about them. They're no more human than the chair I'm sitting in. And they're trying to give them personas and anthropomorphize them so that they can say that they have rights. And of course, those rights are going to be that men can't touch them. That's the only thing this is about.
Right. And it's protecting women's power of sex. And I think they're petrified that men are not going to have to depend on women anymore for sexual release. Thank goodness. It's about time.
Yep.
Here, listen to what she says. Rather than, where did it go? Mrs. Brooks suggests that we may need to get sexual consent from a sex robot in the near future. You have to get sexual consent from the robot. So that's easy enough. You program the damn thing to say, yes, 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 yes. Can I put my penis into your vagina? Yes.
This expert didn't know that consent would be programmed.
Well, yeah, she's pretty dopey, eh? Pretty dopey. Oh my gosh. You can't make this stuff up, Paul.
Well, I tell you what, I'm going to slightly disagree with you about one thing.
Oh.
There is at least a modicum of a line of thinking that makes some sort of weird sense to this.
Help me.
They don't want men to have alternatives to women. They want women to have sexual power and control over men. So if they attack that, and they can demonize that behavior and eventually get shit legislated behind it, then you'll have robots must be programmed to say no. All this, yes, it'll be like that. At least there's some sort of linear 1 + 1 + 1 = 3 thinking to that. But the poop shame, they not no pun intended, but they pulled that right out of their ass.
Yeah, you're still back on the poop shame.
I'm
that
still
one got you.
It did get me. I'm still trying to figure. I mean, what? I don't have words.
That's a first.
Yeah, it is. It just that is literally, and it's really funny and really sad. The New York Times would write this and not expect my reaction to be of the women that these stories are about, that I could never take them seriously as human beings or adults.
Yes,
yes. They're jokes as people.
I'm hoping that this New York Times article was done, as a joke. And there are some indications that it may have been, but man, other parts, it's like, no, it's not a joke.
I think maybe they tried to inject humor into it, but I did not get the sense that they intended this as a joke.
Right. Yeah. And neither did Breitbart, who did an article on this article. And also, Paul, Moray Alighieri did an article on the poop thing, which both of them are well worth looking at. We'll link both below.
Yeah, we'll link them below. You guys can check it out. But
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Can't make this. I think that one for me, of all the discussions we've had of things you can't make shit up, and it's funny that the shit you can't make up is about shit. But
there you go. There you go. Isn't that the
that's a
truth?
little bit of irony in the situation.
I'll store that in my biocomputer. That one really got you. Yeah.
And with that, young man, I think we have concluded.
I think that's enough shit.
Yeah, that's enough shit. And I'm gonna try to come back next time with stories that are a little bit more lighthearted. We've already got it. Women kill babies. The law lets them get away with it. Society looks the other way, and they let women go for stuff that they would literally destroy a man over.
Yeah, really.
We know that's real. No need to belabor the point. I'll try to find something else for the next one, and I bet you I will.
All right, we'll see. It won't be hard to find. You know that.
No, it won't.
All right. You take care, Paul.
Oh,
we'll see you guys. What?
Men are good.
Hey, we
As are
both said
you.
at the same time. It's pretty good. As are you. All right. You guys take care. We'll see you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.